Hi, welcome to part 7 of the tutorial. We're going to continue from part 6 where we left off. And in part 6, we were on the step where we had to build the business logic for this application. So in part 7, we're going to go further. So the first step we need to do is build the user interface. So to build the user interface, we need to replace the text field with the list field in our main activity.java. We need to use a list adapter to display information, and we need to add the places list click event handler. So to do these steps, we're just going to copy and paste the main activity.java in our snippets file. And if I copy and paste the phase 2 snippets from the snippets folder into my main activity.java. So that's my new main activity. Now this main activity uses the XML activity underscore main for its layout. So we're going to go to the res layout activity underscore main and copy the new activity underscore main into this folder, into this file. Now the next step is to copy the strings that are missing. So in our snippets folder, there are a list of strings which we need. So we can copy them into our values/strings file. Just paste them like that. And that should be fine. Now our main activity.java contains a few calls to code which is in our library. So we're going to change the path to that using the correct package name, and we're going to import the correct package. So in this case, check-in is in com.code_stk, and then same goes for the rest of the packages here. So once those are replaced, so now those are replaced, so we should be able to keep going. Now here there's a reference to some of the resources in our XML, so we need to do a clean build. So just hit refresh clean to make sure those compilation errors get fixed. So it seems it's still complaining, so let's see what the imports look like. So we have our imports up here. Now our bin and gen are fine, which means that we have an r.java. So maybe we need to just import r.java. So r is there. So place underscore item is in our layout called place underscore item .xml. So we copy this and create that layout. So right click on layout, say new, and write XML file, place underscore item, and copy and paste and replace the code from the snippets. So now if we clean, oh, there's one more thing we need to do, which is add the place details activity. So in my source package, I can create a place details activity, and I'll copy the snippet for it from place details activity. Okay, so that's there. Now we need to fix the build errors here. Notice that the place details activity uses activity underscore single underscore place. So we'll have to copy the snippet for that and say new and paste it here. Save that, and hopefully the build error should go away. The package names still have to be fixed in here. So to fix them, we can say code SDK Okay, so that should fix some of our errors, except we still have errors from the offer endpoint and the recommendations endpoint. So those are endpoint libraries that we have to use the entity pattern to generate. So let's follow the tutorial again. Now we're going to create offer.java entity in our mobile assistant dash app engine. So if you say new class offer.java, and the code for this is in our should be in our snippets here. So offer.java, and you can copy that and paste it. Now we need to generate the endpoint class for it, and once the endpoint class is there, we're going to generate the cloud endpoint library for it. So both those endpoints, so that offer endpoint is now in place, and we can check by going to our generated source here. So we have this offer endpoint packages here. Now we need to do the same for recommendation. So we need to create a recommendation.java entity class. So we're going to say new class recommendation and copy the code from snippet recommendation.java. Paste it, and now we have recommendation.java. We can generate the cloud endpoint class. So now we have the cloud endpoint class. We can create the endpoint library. Okay, so we have our endpoint library. We can check that it's there by clicking on the recommendation endpoint just right here. So if we go back to paste details activity, the errors that we were seeing earlier should be resolved, except we still have this layout which we're missing. So we can add our offer underscore item layout by saying offer underscore item and get the code from snippets.java, which is right here. And the other thing which we were missing is so we need an image view binder, which we'll fix soon. And right, so that's all we need for now. Let's look at the image view binder. So image view binder is over here in our snippet. So essentially what it's doing is it takes the URL and it's using the URL to grab the image from the server and then we display it. So it's doing that in a separate thread, and the way we know that is well, so it's a binder view binder, so that should do it from a separate thread. Anyway, so let's copy that and paste it in image URL view binder.java. Okay, so that's most of the steps that we needed. There's a async task that we're missing, which is the download image async task. Now that download image async task should be in one of these files here. So let's see, okay, so it seems that that code needs to be written by us right now. So let's see if there's any information here about download image async task. So it doesn't seem to be anything on here, so we're looking for okay, so we'll actually come back to that code because we're missing that async task, and we'll fix that later. So now we have pretty much everything to run except the image downloading code. So let's run this and see what it looks like. So I can say debug as Android application and launch the emulator. Okay, so now it should give us the stores. Um, I believe it gave us a error, an exception here. So we're going to try to debug that, and I'll actually debug that in my next tutorial. So thanks for watching. We'll continue in part 8.